it does sting a little bit for me when I see people that I knew and that I know who are in that position. I'm like, did I do the wrong thing? Should I have done something different? If you're in your mid-20s and have some doubts, this video is for you. If people are like, oh my gosh, she's wearing hoops. First of all, I just want to mention that we should never underestimate a hoop and how it will make you feel. If you have a pair of hoops and you're feeling bad, probably just put on the hoops. Like, you're actually probably gonna be fine. But today I wanted to talk to the 20-somethings who are having a quarter life crisis, or it doesn't have to be so much of a crisis, it could just be a curiosity. Because for me, mine fluctuates. It fluctuates between crisis and curiosity quite frequently. And I think that's what being 25 is. I'm 25, I'm gonna be 26 February 21st. I am a Pisces on the cusp of Aquarius. Also, today somebody said that I was the Black Aubrey Plaza, and I take that to be one of the greatest compliments of my life. Also, I'm starting to post more frequently. I hope you can tell. Do you care? Because I will post every day if people care. Because I'm starting to really have the urge to be more consistent and spend more time on YouTube. Like, YouTube makes me feel good and safe. Like, people actually care about me on YouTube. They care about my life. On TikTok, I think they want me to die, but they're curious what I would say with my last breath. Like, they would document what my last words were, but they would take joy in my death. That's how it feels to be on TikTok. YouTube, they're like, oh my God, I enjoy your happiness. I don't want to kill you. And so that's nice. And so I would enjoy to do it more, but I want to make sure that people kind of give a shit. So let me know in the comments below if you will be watching. I try to be raw and real on here, so that's what I'm gonna do. Oh yeah. Little known fact about me, I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer first. I'm a dancer before I'm anything else. I used to dance a lot and dance in America a lot. I used to go to conventions. I was a Pulse protege. I was an Intrigue true performer. I was an Ash apprentice. Okay, if that means anything to you, it means something to you. If not, whatever. I did at a time assist I'm a Beast and Janelle Genestra and Ian Eastwood. And so when I was in LA, I went to school in LA. When I was in LA, I was part of this world. You know what I mean? I was in I'm a Beast. Sorry, did I call him I'm a Beast before? His name is Wildebeest. I don't know. He fell off the mat because he got exposed for things that nobody seems to want to talk about ever, and we just kind of pretend nobody knows. Allegedly, all these alleged, I can't even go into it. I don't even know details, but I was around. I met a lot of people when I was very young, like maybe 14, 15, 16, and they were 14, 15, 16, who are now big famous dancers. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they might dance for SZA, Taylor Swift, Normani, Tate McRae, Ariana Grande, Future, like, you know, so on and so forth, Tyler the Creator. All of those performers, I know people who, like, I personally know, whether they went to my school, I was in a company with them, I went to convention with them, whatever it may be, right? And I was, like, in that sort of caliber. And I had, like, an LA agent, all this stuff before COVID happened. And then COVID happened and I moved back to Toronto. And I felt immediately, I've actually never really told anyone this, but I felt immediately when I was, so this is quarantine times, right? Like, when you fly from a different country, you have to stay isolated for like 2 weeks in a house away from your family. So I stayed at my uncle's house in Toronto for 2 weeks. No one else was there because he was staying somewhere else. And I remember as soon as I got home, well, as soon as I got there, I felt my grandfather's presence a little bit. Like, he had just passed, like maybe I don't know, 3 or 4 months before then, maybe 5, but it didn't feel like that. But he had passed when I was away in school, and that's a whole other story. But I had sort of felt his presence in my uncle's house, and it kind of made me feel like I was supposed to be here at this time. And I literally started crying, and I just felt very like I was supposed to be here at this time. So it wasn't like I felt disgruntled in the sense of I shouldn't be here. And I don't think I've really felt that too much. At the same time, being somebody who was around all of these dancers who are now so successful in dance as dancers, I do feel some envy sometimes or some jealousy sometimes. And it's not like I've stopped dancing or choreographing, but I think I have a different career now than maybe I thought it was going to look like. I will say I've probably choreographed more professionally here in Canada due to, you know, more grant access generally. And I mean, I'd never really actually applied for a grant in the US. Like, I was in school when I was there. But as soon as I came home for COVID, like, I was able to apply for grants here. There's a lot more, I mean, to my knowledge or my understanding of it, and I could be wrong, correct me if you know, but I'm pretty sure there's more grant funding here for the arts, specifically dance, than like in America. It's more, I think it's more privately funded, you know what I mean? Like, you have to find a foundation of somebody who really cares about arts to fund your project most of the time, whereas here, you know, there's like 3 different like location-based, meaning like Canada, Ontario, Toronto, arts council, whatever association, places that you can apply to get money from. And I've gotten some support via either like that kind of funding or like a company backing me. But my applications for choreography have gone well. And I think my choreographic career is bigger than maybe I thought it was going to be when I was like planning to live in LA for the rest of my life and dance my ass off. You know what I mean? And I did have an agent for like a couple months in LA, like right after I graduated before COVID hit. And I went on some auditions, whatever. I did a couple of music videos. I did Phineas. But then I went home. And so I didn't fully live that out, if I'm honest. Like, I didn't fully live out like audition life the way I wanted to. I didn't fully live out like music video life, tour life the way I wanted to. And so it does, if I'm being honest, sting a little bit for me when I see people that I knew and that I know who are in that position. I'm like, you know, did I do the wrong thing? Should I have done something different? And it's not that there was really a way for me to do that at the time, especially with the barrier of like being Canadian. Like, I do know some people who are Canadian who did end up in the States dancing, and they are dancing on tour, but then it begs the question, this is what I wanted to talk about. There's a balance between comfort and risk, and there's a balance between your biggest pie in the sky dreams and sustainability. Okay? And I want to emphasize, disclaimer, I'm just a 25-year-old bitch just talking about what's in my brain. I don't really know anything. Okay? But these are my thoughts. We're in the trenches together, okay? You need to have some kind of comfort, and you need to have some kind of sustainability, even though you want to go for this pie in the sky and have the risk, right? And like, there's also the thing about everything happens for a reason, yada, yada. That's hard to deal with on a daily basis. That's not soothing, okay? And I'm not going to try and soothe you with that, because guess what? It's not soothing. The concept of everything happens for a reason, especially for somebody who has anxiety and OCD, guess what? I don't really care. I don't really care. I'm in fight or flight mode. And saying everything happens for a reason actually does nothing for me, because I'm insane. I'm insane, and I have compulsions, and I have to ask people all the time for validations and reassurance because I don't trust myself. I don't trust my own brain. So guess what? Somebody saying, oh, everything happens for a reason, it's all going to work out, is fine, really doesn't do shit for me. If I'm being honest, we can pretend and we can be hunky-dory, we can be toxic positive and everything's fine. My brain still itches, and it's not soothed by the phrase, everything happens for a reason. I can want to believe it out my ass. I can want to believe it out of my ass. It doesn't soothe my heart space. It really doesn't. And it should. I wish it did. I wish it did. It doesn't. Let's play devil's advocate. I really do love my life in so many ways. One of the things I love about my life is this little girl here. Okay? Do I think that I could realistically have her if I lived in LA? No, and that's because, so first of all, most people would say, I mean, a lot of people in my life would say I do well, and I've done a lot of cool things. You know, I was a Raptors creator this past year, one of 4 out of like hundreds, you know what I mean? And that was a great time. But guess what? You do the great thing that you're looking forward to, and then it ends. And you never feel satisfied creatively. You might for like a week or so. And then you're like, okay, so then what? Like, I did a couple modeling jobs last month. That was super fun and super cool. But first of all, you don't see that money for months. Like, I'm talking like half a year. And it's once a month has gone by, you're like, okay, so what's wrong with me? So what's going on? And then, you know, the reason I brought up Tate McRae before, I understand it took me 10 minutes to get here. A bunch of people that I used to dance with / we still follow each other, our mutuals on Instagram, were in that music video, and they looked so amazing and they looked so hot and their dancing was incredible. But it also brought up my insecurities of part of the reason why I felt like I couldn't make it that way in dance, like as a dancer, not as a choreographer, which I probably do more. I would say I probably get paid more for choreography now than I do to be a dancer. I didn't like super do the math on that, but that's what I would say. Because I never had that like exact build that they tend to want, which is like, you know, between 5'2" and 5'6", maybe 5'4", literally a perfect body, small chest, toned arms, but not big shoulders the way I have, beautiful legs, nice bum, abs, always abs, beautiful face, makeup always done, style's always on point, hair is always perfect, whether it's yours or not, it doesn't get wet, it doesn't go kinky, nothing is ever wrong, you always look amazing and perfect and stunning, and your style is on point, and it's also your own style. Like, that's one of the big differences between dance and modeling. Like, when you're modeling, it's based on like you, not your clothes. When you're dancing, it's based, like when you're going to auditions, it's about the clothes you're wearing, the look you have, the makeup you put on. Like, you have to style and curate yourself, which is expensive. And the sustainability and job security is simply not there unless you're on tour, which is super. I mean, I've never been on tour and I always wanted to be on tour. You know what I mean? And that's part of my insecurity is that I'm like, you know, I never went on tour. It's not to say I couldn't ever go on tour as a choreographer, and maybe one day I'll do that and that would be great. But, you know, I've never been on tour as a dancer. That being said, I don't know how I would do in that environment. I don't know if I am built for that. I could be, I don't know, but it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of moving around and you're working all the time and you don't have a break and you don't really get to have too much of a bad day because you're performing all the time and you're traveling everywhere. You don't have a home base for like the times that you're working. But, you know, I know people who have done it and they seem super happy and they've traveled the world. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I love that I get to have a home. I get to have a dog. I get to see my family. I get to have my friends. I get to live in a place that is almost equal parts exciting and chill. Like, that's what I like about Toronto. Like, you can kind of be both things here. And you're not, you know, a small fish in a big pond. You're more of a medium with potential of being big fish in a smaller pond, which is less intimidating and more sustainable and all these things. And also, you know, the whole international thing is, paperwork is bullshit and it stresses me out and it triggers my panic attacks. So, yeah, that's why I've been having a little bit of an existential crisis of like, what am I doing? What do I want to do? What should I be doing? And I love making content and I love the freedom of it. But it's also like, you know, I don't make fashion content, so I don't get fashion content creator money. You know, I get like dingy, like YouTube shorts money and like, you know what I mean? There's more I could be working on, like maybe creatively or even like in regards to this book that I'm trying to write, which will be full of poems and short essays. And it's like, I could be going harder at those things probably. But I also think about, and then like when my friends get opportunities that might be like acting or whatever based, and I feel like I haven't booked something in a while, then I get insecure and I'm like, hey, what's wrong with me? Why haven't I booked something? Am I ugly now? Does everyone hate me? Like, what happened? What's going on? I'm impatient. Tap, tap, tap. But I can't think that way, and I just never, ever, ever take time to appreciate myself and the work that I've done and be satisfied. But it's also like, oh, so annoying. I don't know. It's hard, you guys. It's hard. It's hard. Please let me know if you feel me at all. Please let me know if you understand. Please let me know your thoughts, advice, tips, your own stories. Please let me know. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching and being here and supporting this part of my career and journey. Love you. Bye-bye.